En ons gaan voort met Nuusdag Perspektief. Verjaar se staatsrede deur president Cyril Ramaphosa vind donderdag aand tydens die parlementsopening in Kaapstad plaas. Verlede jaar het die klem baie sterk geval op werkloosheid onder die jeug, asook vaardigheidsontwikkeling onder die jeug. Nou onlangse statistieke toon dat 3,3 miljoen jong mense tussen die ouderdomme van 18 en 24 werkloos is. Hulle het geen kwalifikasies nie en hulle ontvang ook geen vorm van opleiding nie. Lebogang Ramodike is die hoof-bestuurder van Big Brands Media. Nou, hy doen baie werk in plattelandse gebiede om jong mense vaardighede aan te help aanleer en werksgeleenthede vir jeugdiges te skep. En ons gesels nou met hom. Hy is by ons in die ateljee. Lebogang, nice to see you. Goeienaand.
Goeienaand, Suzaan.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Lebogang, we referred to last year's SONA in the intro. What would you like to hear this year from President Ramaphosa's speech?
This year, I'd like the President to guide on our practical interventions as a country in terms of skills development, in terms of enterprise development for young South Africans.
And what is happening there? Has there been any changes in the last year, 2 years, when it comes to youth, when it comes to programs, when it comes to what is happening in the rural areas?
Not really, but where we should give credit is that we are more aware of policy implications. I think companies are aware of the various transformation charters, the property industry, the finance sector, the mining sector. They're now aware that for their BE scorecards, they need to contribute to socio-economic development and skills development interventions that target unemployed black youth, women and people with disabilities.
And how do they do that? What kind of programs are in place?
Well, the programs we run, we refer to them as triple Ps, public-private sector partnerships. But our inspiration comes from the National Development Plan. If you look at the National Development Plan, Chapter 9 speaks to education, skills development and innovation. So from there, we work on helping young people gain access to learnerships, internships, and skills development opportunities in that space. So our focus areas are vulnerable groups, orphaned and vulnerable children, adolescent girls that are exploited and abused, and they are from dysfunctional families, youth that have come out of rehabilitation centers because of addiction. We help them reintegrate into society through learnership programs.
Where does this happen?
We work with different role players and stakeholders. So based on, right now we're in the conversation with the agriculture community. We're going into farming communities. We are appealing to farmers to say, play an active role. Let's make it fashionable to hire young black, unemployed young South African. Let's get them into skills development opportunities, into learnerships, into scholarships. Let's make education fashionable.
And is this happening all over the country, or are there specific areas or provinces maybe?
So our priority provinces now would be KZN, Limpopo, Mpumalanga. And we're looking at growing into the Free State and the Eastern Cape. We're looking at the top 5 provinces that have the highest levels of unemployment, as outlined in the Stats SA fourth quarter or third quarter report, which was released last year.
But you're talking about skills development and about programs, etc. But can you give us examples? I saw some people now sitting somewhere with machines doing needlework, whatever. What are you actually doing apart from the farming? And yes, apart from farming, what else?
Well, what we do is we have taken a decision that we'll be progressive young South Africans. We are going to focus on the skills need of the country. Right now, we're talking about the digital economy, and agriculture is a booming economy. So those are the 2 sectors in which we need to push unemployed young people into. So all we're saying is that as we are there is a public discussion around the agricultural sector, how to expand it. All we are saying is that let's professionalize the sector, because you will agree with me that in terms of agricultural sector, it's you inherit the farm. You know, so the idea is to say, as part of us inheriting, let's get our young South Africans into skills so they understand, how do I farm, livestock, agro
But not
processing.
everybody is a farmer, hey? I mean, not everybody wants to be farmers. Not everybody wants to stay or remain in the rural areas. Many young people actually want to come to the cities.
But every sector has professional services.
Mm-hmm.
You need an accountant to manage your books. You need a marketing agency to market and sell and distribute your products. We are not saying to young people, wake up tomorrow and be a farmer. Mm-hmm. We say to the farming communities, give us an opportunity in terms of professional services. Each sector, for it to be a booming sector, needs professional services.
And how are these programs received by the youth in the rural areas?
Well, we did work with TUT, would regard Polokwane as a rural area, well received, because we have practical conversations with young people. We even briefed a panel that please leave your PowerPoint presentations at home. Let's have an honest conversation, because if I regard you as an expert in a field, you don't need a PowerPoint presentation to respond to my question. And our unique offering is that when you leave the session, we this year are going to be issuing appointment letters to learnership programs. Mm-hmm. Because with the learnership program in South Africa, all you need is a valid ID and proof of address, no prior qualification. So anyone can access that skill. So at the moment, everyone is obsessed with internships and bursaries. We should move towards learnership. SETAs are returning that money every year because there are no young people. Mm-hmm. So all we're saying is that as an entry level, to addressing the urgent need of unemployment in this country, all sectors, and the agricultural sector must lead in this. Let's get young people into learnership programs.
What gaps do you still see in the rural areas?
The gaps is that we need to move and not make an understanding of the National Development Plan a fashion statement. It's got to be a human right. I don't sit here and sound like I am an academic, you know. I'm encouraging everyone that let's understand the direction of the country, but let's use languages and approaches that young people understand. In rural communities, the key languages are African languages. Let's get to a point where we start speaking to youth in languages that they understand. Let's go to those shebeens and taverns and have conversations with them and stop sitting in Sandton in five-star hotels and developing solutions for unemployed young people in rural communities. They are misplaced. We are tired of summits and review summits. We want action.
You want action. That's wonderful, yeah, because I think it's time for action. And I think we have a lot of people who actually want to become involved. So how do you administer this? I mean, you have young people sitting in Paul Roo in the Free State. They are listening tonight. They are watching us. They want to become involved. How? Where do they find you? What do they do?
Well, we are going to make their life easy. We've reached out to Agri-SA, and we're saying to Agri-SA, let's work together. Let's go to farming communities. Let's help young people. Let's get them into programs. And we are happy that they have agreed. They've asked to meet with us this Thursday. They are already showing interest. The point I'm trying to drive across is that unemployment affects all South Africans. We believe in a multiracial South Africa. Hence, tonight, I'm sitting on an Afrikaans platform to appeal to the Afrikaans community that let's contribute to addressing youth unemployment. As young people, let's not inherit adult conversations that seek to divide us as young people. We're not going to inherit those discussions. We'll inherit a discussion that will build a better South Africa.
And if I'm a viewer tonight and I want to become involved as an individual, what do I do?
Well, you can join us. You can go to www.bigbrandsmedia.org. There you'll find our email addresses. We encourage young people who want to join, and some that say, I have an idea, can you help us, link us? We do that. We link them to different strategic organizations who they are called responsibilities to help young people.
And if somebody contacts you, a young person, and says, listen, I actually want to go and study, I want to go to a university, will you be able to help them too? Or is this something completely different?
Well, let's be honest. Our universities are full. January has demonstrated how full universities are. I'll encourage that young person that we can help with the TVET college, because in terms of skills, we need technical skills now as a country. So we need more young people pursuing technical qualifications, because that's the only way we're going to increase our global competitiveness as a country.
Lebogang, it was wonderful meeting you. Thanks for coming in and talking to us. Dit was die hoof-bestuurder van Big Brands Media, Lebogang Ramodike. Baie dankie dat jy vanaand saam gekyk het. Perspektief is môre aand 8:30 terug. 'n Mooi aand vir dit. Totsiens.